Hi everyone, and welcome to another Pro User interview. My name's Kevin, and today with me, I'm really happy to introduce Ankush to you. So, hi, how are you today?
Very good, Kevin, and thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this series. I'm delighted to be here today.
Brilliant. So, for those of you that may or may not have seen the other Pro User interviews, what we're doing is we're really privileged to have some of you have stepped forward that are using the Zenler platform. We've got an array of different businesses and different use cases of Zenler. We really get into how people are using it, how they're finding the technical side of it, and actually what results they're getting. So we're going to have a look at the site today as well. Now, this will be, you may be watching this on YouTube, or you may well be watching it on the tutorial site. Underneath the video, you will see a link to the site that we're going to showcase anyway. So don't worry about scrabbling around to write down a URL. It will be under the video that you can watch and go and look afterwards. So let's start off at the very beginning. Ankush, could you just introduce yourself, please, and let us know what it is that you teach, please?
Hi, everyone. Delighted to be here. Let me start by telling what I do. So, my platform is called Kling. It's QLING, and it stands for Quick Learning and Quality Learning. Now, the whole genesis behind starting this venture was that over the years, what I've seen is that there's so many learning sites, especially for business professionals, where skills relevant to them are taught. Many of them offer courses which are good, but very difficult for learner to translate into something practical and start benefiting it from the day they finish their course. And that's the thing which frustrated me a lot as a user. And one day I decided that something has to be done about this, and that's where I decided to start this venture Cling, that I'll provide learning through my resources as well as through my network, which is relevant, which is very, very practical and application focused, so that somebody who's doing a course, the minute they start learning, can apply some of these and start benefiting and creating an impact at work. So that's the whole idea behind what I do, and that's what Cling is all about. And personally, I've spent 16 years in the industry and done a lot of work in learning. Last 10 years was dedicated in designing learning solutions for large organizations, delivering learning programs and creating learning strategy, and helping individuals be more successful at what they do through very, very focused and customized learning initiatives for them.
Okay, so it's quite a unique business. I've not heard of one of these before.
Absolutely, Kevin. The beauty of this is that I have very specifically chosen a set of people who I would cater to. Now, when I say working professionals, my target is young professionals, and that's who I will focus all my energies on. These are the people who need, who are always looking out for opportunities to learn. And given that the entire world is moving to a virtual mode, they are now deprived of the benefit of learning it from their seniors or co-workers when they would just sit around each other in the office and pick up a few skills here and there. Even when the pandemic is over, I think this virtual way is going to dominate and is going to be the new normal. And that's where they need somebody who's been there, who's been through these struggles, has learned, and they can benefit and not go through the entire learning curve once again, and learn and start creating that kind of impact that they would really want to create at work.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're on the Zenler platform. Clearly, that's why we're here. This is the Pro User interview. How did you come across Zenler? Was this your first learning management system that you tried? And if not, what did you do before? And how did you find us?
So that's a very interesting story. When I was looking for a learning management system, my first thought was, I have so many requirements. Let me get it custom designed from a technology company. And when I looked at the roadmap, it was just too overwhelming for me. And it was every organization said that they'll take at least 11 to 12 months to deliver what I was looking for. And I decided that's going to slow me down considerably, and I started looking for solutions. I went through a lot of solutions, finalized on one of these solutions. I'll not name them. And then when I was about to subscribe to them, I found another one and another one. This was the fifth one because I wasn't really getting what I wanted from all of these solutions. But when I landed on Zenler's site and I requested for the invitation, the exclusive invitation to see what Zenler has to offer, and I got the invitation, it wasn't hard. And I was consulting with one of my close friends who's very knowledgeable about technology. And I said, this is the fifth platform that I'm going to share with you. Tell me your opinion. I'm nearly convinced, and do you believe in it too? And I think it was 1 to 2 days of going through the entire offering that Zenler has, and both of us were convinced that this is by far the most comprehensive platform that I could have imagined, and nearly fulfills all that I wanted to. So that's how I landed up and ended up subscribing to Zenler.
And it's really interesting because the majority of people I speak to, Zenler is never the first platform that they find. Interestingly, they've gone through a number of others before in whatever way that may be. And of course, when you're not happy with something or something you feel is missing, you look elsewhere.
Absolutely.
That's natural human behavior. And it's really nice that we have people here now at Zenler seeing the development of the platform, and they're not looking anywhere else now. And I think that's great. We take a lot of pride in that our users are happy and they're really excited about how this is developing for them.
Absolutely. There are two things which make a lot of difference. No platform will offer you everything that you need. That's something which all of us understand. And one way of looking at is which is my best fit. I'll go with that. But for me, bigger than what Zenler was offering was two things which stood out for me, which is my main reason for signing up for Zenler. And when I recommend it to my friends, this is what I tell them. I said two things. One is they have a very wonderful community of course creators. These people talk to each other and genuinely help each other. My day starts by going through the Facebook group and making a genuine attempt. Where can I answer these queries? Who's it that I can help? Because so many others have helped me in the last few months that I really want to give back. That's how I start my day. Second, it's the only platform where our voice is being heard. We are being asked, what are the features that you want? Please let us know what you want, and that's what is getting prioritized. Very few organizations do that. Very few learning management systems are doing that. What is easy for them, what makes more business sense for them, that's what they're prioritizing, but not really listening to what their customers want. So these two things are very important for me, and potentially a lot of learning for me for my business as well. As I grow my business, I'm also looking at how can I integrate these two wonderful features in what I have to offer.
Yeah, and that's perfect because that's very much the values here at Zenler, that it is truly the customer first. Obviously, we can't put out every feature request when everybody wants it because that's
Absolutely.
untenable. However, the community do help us guide the development of the system because we want our users to succeed in delivering their courses to their students, and we can only do that if they have the features that they're looking for. So, good point. Okay, let's move on to actually some of the processes behind the courses, because a lot of people come out with the idea, especially nowadays, where they've got a skill, they've got a talent, and they get a bit stuck with how does this look in a course format. So can you talk us through what your process is for creating a course? How do you come up with the ideas? How do you package it all together into a course? What does that look like for you?
So that's a very interesting question because right now, as of today, I'm in the process of designing another course for my audience. And based on what I've learned from the community, based on what I've learned from my earlier experience so far, the process that I'm following is something which is very different from what I've done so far. My earlier approach was design a course, and tell to the audience that the course is ready and expect them to come and buy. Now, what I'm doing is very different. Right now, what I've started is I've started with some customer interviews. I've started with requirement gathering. I have a concept in mind, but I've gone back to my potential customers and I've told them, this is what I'm going to do. Is this something that you need? Is there something more that you want? And I'm collecting that through various forums, various tools, and all of these are designed in Zenler. So I've developed a questionnaire which is on my Zenler site. I've rolled it out to them, so I don't have to worry about managing who all said yes, who all gave me an input. All that is there in the system right now. As soon as somebody expresses interest, I write back to them, and that's again through the Zenler system. The email goes to them automatically that I have noticed that you're in interest, and I'm going to keep you updated over the next few weeks as I develop the course. And Zenler has a blog feature as well.
Mhm.
And before this interview, I was writing that blog, that how am I going to keep telling about all that is there in my mind to my potential customers, that this is what I'm planning to do, this is what you will get from the course, so that they can make the right decision whether this course is for them or not. And I get taken back to a challenge I did with the Zenler community on the blogging. For me, blogging was writing my thoughts. I can do that reasonably well, but it was just sharing my thought. I never saw it as a tool to really capture the imagination of my audience. And whatever I learned in that blogging challenge, which again I learned in the Zenler community, I am now implementing that to really be very transparent with my customers. That, see, this is what I'm trying to build. If you've got inputs, tell me now, and this is what you will receive, so that they can make an informed choice that whether they want this or not. So this is the first phase where I'm doing a little bit of customer requirement gathering, and then once I record the lessons, do the video editing, etc., which of course is done right now outside the Zenler system. I will, and it's very easy once all that is done to put it in a curriculum format. It's plug and play. Anybody can do that if they have the Zenler platform. Then the other thing which I intend to do after that is run some live webinars where I'll give them a preview of what the course is. Now, again, I don't have to worry about getting a Zoom account, exporting that list, sending them emails. All the data is there with me in Zenler, and I just have to put in a few filters that these are the people who said they're interested. These are the people who said, yes, they would like to know. And the system will invite them, system will ensure that they get reminders to join. And I only have to worry about what is the message that I have to give them. So that's the process broadly, Kevin. And as I mentioned, it's thanks to Zenler, a lot of my procedural headache is taken care of by the system.
So that's really interesting that you're using quite a number of the elements of Zenler in your pre-marketing of your courses. You're doing the webinars, which talks about the course, helps them see if they're interested. You're using the email system. You're now using the blogging functionality. So often it's overlooked, the marketing aspect of Zenler as a platform, because it does do marketing as well as lead nurturing, as well as selling courses. Even though that it was always its primary function was the course element, it's got these other bits. So, and what else is interesting, and I often say this with course creators that I meet is, and you've sort of hit the nail on the head here, is how your first course isn't the same as your next course, because you're developing your style based on customer feedback. And this is where lots of people get stuck, because they look at someone that's gone through that development process maybe 10, 15, 20 times, and they're just starting out and think they can start at the 20 times level, but they're not quite there yet. They've got to start out at the beginning. So with your course itself, let's get into the nitty gritty of it. very briefly, how do you deliver your course? You said that you do videos and you edit the videos. Is there any other elements that you add into those? As in, do you use the assignment aspect or anything like that? How does it, from a student's point of view, when they buy a course, what formats do they see?
So, there are few things which are very, very critical to the philosophy that I shared a little while back, that learners should be able to apply what they learn, very quickly. So there are three, four elements which are extremely critical for me. One is that because right now what I'm offering are productivity tool courses, it is important that they start learning. It's not about listening and absorbing as much. It's also about demonstrating what they've learned. So the first thing which I do is offer them resource files so that the learners can use some of those files for their practice as well. Very easy for me to share. There's a simple course type which is called download, and I just have to put the file there and they can use that. The other thing is I use assignments as a strategic tool for my business. I do not offer certification. I've also collaborated with an open badge provider. I do not offer certification and badges unless until that they've completed their assignment and their assignment has been approved.
Okay.
Now, many platforms I've seen where sorry for being critical here. Many platforms I've seen where people would switch on the video, the first video on their mobile phone, and leave it aside on silent. And by the end of the day, their course is complete and the certificate gets emailed to them. So that's something which I hated. And I really, I don't want the certificate to be a piece of paper. I want it to be a real certificate of their competence. So Zenler allows me to do that. And the other thing is we work in a 24/7. I have students from all across the world, and I can't respond to them live every time. I use the communities or the discussion forums, as I call them, in my school. For every lesson, I have a discussion forum attached. The minute the student has a question, they don't have to go anywhere. Just under the lesson, they can write their question. Other students or I would respond to it as soon as possible. And I don't have to go around looking if there's a comment. The minute I log in to the Zenler platform in the morning, I have notifications that so and so student has asked me a question. I even get an email notification and I can respond to it very quickly and keep them engaged. So these are few things, and the others, which is a very minor thing, which I'm sure a lot of other platforms are providing, but is very crucial for my business need is uh, on course completion. I have full flexibility of whether I want to issue the certificate automatically or whether I want to issue it
Manually.
Yeah. And that's what it's a minor thing, but it's valuable because it's very important for the kind of brand that I'm trying to build for my organization, where I very clearly write to people that you earn your certificates, you don't receive them.
Yeah.
And the final thing which I do, which is to encourage completion of courses and really master what you're learning, is when a student completes the courses, I give them exclusive access to some sessions which only those students who have completed the courses get.
Yeah.
It's not that anybody who's paid for a course and is not progressing nicely would also get access to those students. I have an exclusive community. And to monitor that can be a pain. But through my automations, I have simply used tags where all those students who've completed and have received the certificate get tagged. And all I have to do is filter on them and invite them to that exclusive webinars and sessions that I do for them. So that's how I'm using various elements for my course delivery and keeping my students engaged and giving them that differentiated experience that they would expect on a platform like this.
Perfect. Okay, so we've talked about it. Let's have a look at it now and see what it is that you've built. Now, I do remind people watching this, Zenler is built for people that are not web designers. It is there to be used by any course creator, and used reasonably easily. We have lots of templates, so your homepage already has template blocks in there. When you create a course, it creates all of your pages for you with the elements in that you need. So if you're worried about how do I make my pages look nice, we give you the guidance when you start up. Now, obviously, you have the ability to chop and change it around as much as you want based on experimenting or your own ability, but you don't need to be a web designer to actually create something that's functional. And functional for me in my world is a place where students can come in, recognize that they want your course, purchase your course and learn. That's what I call functional. So let's have a look at yours, Ankush, and see what we've got.
Sure, Kevin. Let me share my screen and let me know when you can see my website.
Yep, I can see your site. So
Yes.
this is your homepage.
Yes, this is the homepage, and I'm not a web designer. Let me clarify that. So all this has been designed using the platform tools that are there. Of course, there are a few tools which I've added, which are not part of Zenler offering. But the point I'm making here is it's so simple to add those. And while I was designing this, it looked intimidating at the start that how would I achieve this? But Zenler also has a wonderful course which they give to all their pro users and even to free users, which is the masterclass, the complete guide to Zenler.
Yep.
And I just followed that, watched those videos, learned through those tutorials, and built it on my own. So this is the homepage, and I've got my courses listed here. I've got a few testimonials, etc. And a little bit about who we are. And then I've spoken about the badges that I offer. I've also spoken about the featured course right now. And there's a blog which talks about that. This is a form that I've put for, letting people know if they would like to know more about it. Again, all these are standard elements of Zenler. I just had to select and change the language as per my need. I have also defined my brand colors. If I could take you back to the logo, I have defined these brand colors, and most of them get applied to all the blocks automatically. If there's something which I still want to alter, I have the flexibility. I'll give you a couple of examples of the flexibility that Zenler provides. By default, in Zenler, there's a dynamic footer that's there. So I wanted to design a footer which was more to my need and was very simple. I designed it for one page, and it allowed me to save that as a template. And all the other pages, I just have to insert that block and not recreate it again and again. Just to give you a sense of how simple it is to add other plugins, I've added this share button, which allows people to share my web pages. I created this account with one of the service providers, and I had to put one line of code which they provide. I just had to copy paste it in my Zenler site. And also, I've recently installed a chat button where people can chat with us when they want. Again, I just had to copy paste. It wasn't very difficult thing for me to do. Let me quickly show you two small things which are very interesting. One is I'm taking you to the all courses page where all the courses are listed. Now, let's say if you go through the course and somebody is trying to, sorry, I think the Zoom controls are not allowing me. Yeah. So let's say somebody goes through the course catalog and doesn't select any course that they want to look at, and if they try and exit, I can catch their attention by showing them a pop-up, which just says, "Would you like a free course in Excel?" And yes, please. Now again, there are so many utilities, so many tools that are available in the market where you can subscribe for a fee of $15-20 per month. But I have not used them. I am using a inbuilt feature of Zenler. So then this did not cost me anything in addition. I just built it, and I know quite a few people have registered for this free course through this platform. And hopefully through the automations, I would be able to upsell them and get them to participate in some of the other courses which are paid. The blog feature, let me very quickly show you that, and then if there's anything specific, Kevin, otherwise we can get back to our discussion. So again, I've put the blog, I've put the message here in case you would like to subscribe for the updates in blogs, and I have put all the links here. Very easy to get these. Again, very simple to create a blog. A very simple editor gives you flexibility of putting the images that you want. Even advanced styles, like if you want to wrap your text around an image, you can do that. The page also has auto social shares, and I'll just quickly show you the blog. I'm not going to read through it, but again, it has the flexibility if you want to add some other plugins, like I have added here a comment plugin. It also you also have the flexibility of filtering blogs on various categories. So when I write a blog, I ensure that I use a consistent category terminology, so that if somebody is interested in a particular kind of a blog, they could filter on the page and access the blog that they want to. So all in all, very simple. I don't have any website development experience, and this is all through a drag and drop editor that I use in Zenler. It's all created through that.
Brilliant. Okay, so thank you for showing us around that. And I always find it really interesting how people lay their sites out similarly, but they look very different. And this is another good example of how that can work. And this is a functioning site. This is a site that you've just seen that does have students going in it. There are courses being sold. So this is what I call a working site. And remember, this is a tool for your business. This is not, in most cases, a hobby scenario. We need it to do its job. Its job is to capture leads, engage with people, sell a course, and deliver the course. The training that's within that course. And this seems to do that very, very effectively. So let me start wrapping up now. I always ask anybody that I interview my final question, which always gets people thinking, but I'd like to ask exactly the same question as a final thought, really, for people that are watching this, because they may be new to the course world, as in being a course creator, or they may be a little bit more experienced. But I always like to say, when you're a step ahead of somebody else, it's always easier to help someone. And this is where we are with the pro user interview. So my question to you, Ankush, is what advice do you have for new course creators that have never put a course together and have never had a student in an online course? What's your best piece of advice you could give them?
I think the best advice I can give them is that keep an open mind, because when you start doing something, you have the main you have a focus that this is what I want to achieve, and usually that is something which is probably a couple of years down the line that you would want to achieve. And it's not going to be that whatever you imagine will happen exactly the way it is. And every moment which comes as a stumbling block will be frustrating. But the next day, do take the time to reflect on what happened, because that's where you learn something which will tell you how to avoid this the next time. And even in my journey, every day I'm learning, and every day I keep an hour where I'm reflecting on what can I do differently, what can I do better, what are some of the mistakes that I've made, thinking them to be the right strategies, and and committing myself to improving that. And that's something which I would say, that while you are out to teach somebody, you're the one who's going to learn the maximum. And if you don't do that, your dreams will take longer to come true. So that's the only thing which I would want to say to budding course creators.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ankush. And I wholeheartedly agree. I've been creating online courses for over 15 years and I'm still learning. Every week we learn something new, and being within the Zenler community, there are people that have been doing it longer than I have. So we're always learning off of somebody somewhere. So great advice. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience and your site with us. Wherever you may be watching this, you will see a link underneath the video to Ankush's site. Go and have a look around. If there's something there that interests you, do feel free to get involved. I'm sure if you find Ankush either in our Facebook group or comment under one of the videos, he'll pick that comment up and have a discussion over whatever question you've got. But for now, I just want to say, Ankush, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Kevin. Wonderful to be part of this.
And for those of you watching it, I hope you found this useful, and I look forward to seeing you maybe on the next pro user interview. Thanks, everyone, and see you soon.